In this very different video, we show you the cost of living here in Bali, from accommodation to food and everything in between. Living it up like the wolf on Wall Street.
The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely not.
And showing you everything that goes on day to day here in Bali. Make sure to make it to the very end of the video to see how much we spend every month living here. Show me the money! Let's get into it. For crazy, for like €5 a night.
If you do want to avoid the cost of a rice terrace,
since we arrived in Bali a couple of months ago, we constantly get asked to do videos on cost of living, what's it like in Bali during a pandemic, where to stay, where to go, where to eat, all those kind of things. How-to videos are not really our kind of thing. We prefer to do more like entertainment videos and bring you to the attractions and show you around. Plus, when we were asked, we were only like a month here and this is our first time in Asia, so we didn't really feel informed enough and know enough to actually tell you anything. But now that we've been here for over 3 months, we feel like we know Bali a little bit better, we know the prices, we can explain more in depth on what it is. Today we're actually leaving this place and heading to a new villa, and we thought instead of just moving from one villa to another, we would combine the two videos and make it more entertaining. So over the next... There is a spider on my camera. One moment. There you go. I got him. Over the next few days, we're going to show you everything you need to know, from accommodation to transport to where to eat, where to stay, and whatever else you need to know. Since we're moving villa today, number 1 will be accommodation. Oh, wait, sorry, that's not true. We have to get to the villa first, so number 1 will be transport, then accommodation.
so we packed up all our things, scraping every bit of the stairs on the way down.
Whoopsies.
And throwing out anything we didn't need anymore.
Bombs away! Hey, let's go. Right, as we pack up the car, let me talk to you about transport. First thing we're going to start with is our bike. When you come to Bali, you'll see plenty of bikes on the road. There'll be so many different types, but most likely if you're here for a week or two, you really only have 3 options. And that is a Scoopy, a Vario, and an NMAX. We have an NMAX, but when we first arrived here in Bali, we got a Scoopy. You'll get used to it.
It's fine,
For anyone who has never driven a scooter before, I would recommend a Scoopy because it's probably the easiest one, and most likely you're only going to be going around Canggu. The roads will just be easier with a Scoopy. For a Scoopy, you're looking at about 600k for a month. A Vario, you're looking at probably 700-800k a month, and an NMAX, you're looking $1 million plus a month. For us, we usually would go with the cheaper end and usually go with a Scoopy, but if you are going more north into the rural areas, into the... There goes the Scoopy. You will need the NMAX to get around the rural areas. Hello! They all love the camera here. Hey! So yeah, as I was saying, if you're going on the more rural areas, you're going up north or anything, probably go with the NMAX, maybe the Vario if you want to get around the rural areas. So I'm going to stop here and give it over to Megan before I get hit over by a car or a bike.
In terms of taxis in Bali, the equivalent of My Taxi or Uber or any of those apps that you'd use at home, it would be Grab or Gojek here. A lot cheaper than maybe at home. For like this 15-minute journey, it's costing like 36,000, which is like €2. You can actually get a scooter Grabs, and it can be a little bit cheaper to do it that way. So if you're by yourself and you feel comfortable to get on the back of a scooter, you could do it that way. There is no public transport really here in Bali, so you need to either get a Grab, a Gojek, or like most people do, rent a scooter.
So as you can see, Bali roads can be very hectic. So if you don't feel comfortable on the bike, I think, whoa, my helmet just broke. So if you don't feel comfortable on the bike, and you are here for a short term especially, I think just stick with taxis because they're cheap and they know how to get around. Right, next up, accommodation.
So we arrived in our new place and began unpacking, and planned to sit down to discuss Bali accommodation prices with you,
Get into the prices and give you a look around our new place.
but we got carried away unpacking, and before we knew it, the sun was setting in. And we still were unpacking, so we decided to sit down the next morning and go through everything with you.
In terms of accommodations here in Bali, you're usually looking at about...
It's so hard to say because it really does vary on what you want. You can get really
cheap accommodations such as like a homestay or a hostel.
For crazy, for like €5 a night.
€5 a night, which is, you can get like €200 a month. Our friend had €200 a month. You can get 1 to 3 bedroom villas. For a 1 bedroom villa, you're looking at around like 12 mil. 2 bedrooms in Canggu is like 16 mil. 3 bedroom villas,
you're probably looking at a high teens, low 20s, depending on the thing. In summary, if you're a couple like us and you're just looking to have your own private villa here in Bali, with electricity included, you're probably looking at about 14 to 15 million a month. And for the space that you get is crazy.
If you do want it a little bit cheaper, you can always extend your, you know, a little bit outside of the Canggu area. Like our first villa was in Perenan, and you can find a lot of villas there that are a lot bigger for a lot smaller prices. So that is your villa cost, which is obviously your main cost. We're gonna hit the road again and show you what the cost of living is like around Canggu for everything. So we jumped back on our bike and made the very short 3-minute drive from our new villa to our very first stop. If you're getting your laundry done in Canggu, you're not gonna be any further than 10 minutes from any laundrettes. The cost of getting your laundry done is 15,000 rupiah per kilo. We usually get laundry done once a week, and it will usually cost us like 98,000 rupiah, which is just under 580.
You're wrong!
So it's not that expensive. Okay, now onto our next spot. Supermarkets in Bali are probably the same, if not a little bit more expensive than at home. In Bali, there's so many different cafes and restaurants that you can eat at that will probably be cheaper than you buying all the ingredients to make it yourself. If you're in Bali, you're probably best off going out for dinner or out for lunch or breakfast or whatever. Alcohol and shampoo is the only thing that's a little bit more expensive, but the rest, like crisps, are the same prices as at home. They do have some sneaky treats like Bundaberg, shout out to Fine on the Net, that are like from Australia and America, like Cheetos you can get if you are from Europe and can't have access to them. In general, it's cheaper to eat out than actually in a supermarket. On to the next place. We just thought we'd show you cost of pharmacies as well. At home, like shampoos and conditioners would be like €1, €2 maybe, €3 if you're really splashed now. But here, shampoos and conditioners are a lot more expensive. They're like €5, €6, so a lot more expensive for shampoo, makeup, vitamins, really, really expensive. But for your basic needs like mouthwash, toothpaste, bot cream, paracetamol, all a little bit cheaper than home, but not by much, so same thing. Okay, so Bali is extremely westernized, so you will be able to get all your needs here. They do have 2 main shopping centers, so it's called Mall Galleria and Beach Walk. Get all your shopping there. If you want things a little bit cheaper because everything is inflated because they're imported, head to the Bali markets, which are all over the islands.
There it is there. If you're looking to get internet here, 90% of the islands will have internet. You'll be able to connect to Wi-Fi everywhere. But if you are looking to get 3G or 4G here, you're looking at about 70 to 80k for about 25 gigs, which we've done for 3 months straight, and it pretty much is unlimited. There are obviously loads of different plans that you can get, and you can get calls and texts and everything. But we recommend just sticking with 25 gigs, 70, 80k. It will do you for the month, it will do you for your trip. And let's face it, it's way cheaper than at home. For gym memberships, it's actually the only thing in Bali that's actually expensive or will at least match the prices of your home country. You're looking at about 1.25 to 2 million a month for a gym. Obviously there are several different gyms in Seminyak, Canggu, Kuta, all around the place, but on average you'll probably be spending about €75 a month. Like everywhere around the world, the longer you stay, the cheaper it is per month, but we've noticed on average you're probably going to spend about 75.
Okay, so let's talk beauty in Bali. This is one of the things that I was like really curious before I came over. I was like, I wonder if it's cheap, and I wonder if it's cheap, is the quality the same as home? So I was very dubious and like skeptical about getting stuff done over here, but I can say that the quality is like next to the same as at home, and the prices are slashed in half. For lashes, you can get a full set of lashes for 150k, which is like €7.50, €8. For a full set of nails, it's about 200k, and to get your hair done, it would range between about 500k to 1.2 million. But yeah, that's 2 of like the most popular things to get done in Bali. Of course, there's other things. For now, I'm gonna get my lashes done and I'll see you after. Now that we have covered the main living costs here in Bali, we're gonna move our focus onto everyone's favorite and one of our biggest costs, food.
Cassie, thank you so much.
Enjoy. Oh, it's so lovely and cold. And the hat, Cassie.
I love it.
Okay, so for For breakfast, we have got 2 acai bowls, acai bowls. You can get these in basically any cafe, any Insta cafe, and this one was 60k, but you can get ones that are like on promo. These weren't on promo because they were being delivered. Breakfasts in Bali are like the thing that's mostly is on. Breakfasts in Bali are the thing that are promotioned most. So you can get like avocado and toast and a coffee and like a little mini fruit bowl for like 75k. Loads of different deals that are really, really cheap that will fill you to the brim until lunch. So make sure if you're getting breakfast, you're eating out, that you get a promotion. Speaking about lunch, let's move on to lunch. So we have come to this sushi place for lunch. We're not big sushi people, but they have a really good range of like vegetarian and vegan options. Basically they have promos on in like every single restaurant in Bali. Today's promo is any plate under 45k is reduced to 20k, so it's 20k per plate, which is whatever, Fiona will do the transaction up there. But it's really, really cheap, so we're probably gonna get like 9 plates, so 9 by 20 is whatever it costs for lunch, so not too shabby for sushi.
Thank you. I feel like in this food bit we're just going to be saying promo the entire time, but it's so true. If you're going to get an average dinner and you're not going to get a promo, you're probably looking at about 150,000 for a meal and a drink per person. But here, this is only 60k because it's 50% off tonight. If you don't know where to go for promos, the best thing to do is to just go onto restaurants on their Instagrams or message them on WhatsApp or whatever, and they'll tell you when their promos are. For example, the famous place Kind in Seminac, all day Saturday, everything is 50k, where every other day you could be paying double. So stick with the promos and you'll be winning.
Lastly, we're going to show you the cost for entertainment in Bali, from the lush Ubud rice fields to the famous beach clubs. For your average beach club, there's obviously different prices. The one that we're currently in is actually no minimum spend, so you can just come get a coconut, which is like 40k. Other beach clubs, like the main ones like Finn's, Potato Head, the ones that you may know, it's a minimum spend of like 500k, which is like 25 euro. Some of them are $1 million for a day bed. It is a bit pricey, but you can spend it on food and drink, and to be honest, if you're here for the day, you're probably going to spend that anyway. So that's beach clubs in Bali. You can go really, really cheap, or you can go really, really expensive. It's whatever you want. So if you want to do surfing in Bali, there's like a load of different schools that you can go to. I'd recommend.
Pop your head out.
So it can cost you anywhere from like 150k to 300k, and there's also photographers, so you can get photos as well, which is like 50k extra. It's like that's the most glamorous thing, but if you're in Bali, it's a must-do. So make sure you do a surf. Okay, now into the next activity.
Of course, when you come to Bali, you need to get a massage. Obviously, you can get very raw and cheap ones, and you can get very expensive ones, but on average, you're probably looking at about 250,000 per person per massage, and it's worth every penny. One thing that we highly recommend you do when you come to Bali is stay in some of their unique accommodations that they have scattered all over the island. If you want any ideas on which one you should stay in, check out our unique accommodations playlist. I'll link it down below. They can be pricey, but for one night, it's just the views you will see. It's stunning, absolutely incredible. It's an experience you won't forget. Places range from probably about 1 million to all the way up to maybe 5 million, but on average, this place costs 2.5. So if you're sharing it with friends, they usually come with 2 or 3 bedrooms. It's pretty reasonable. Just make sure to bring your bug spray. If you plan on visiting neighbouring islands, Nusa Penida will cost you €17 return, and the Gili Islands will cost you approximately €40 return. Hotel prices are quite similar to mainland Bali at about €30 to €40 a night.
One of Bali's most famous attractions, it is called Tegalang Lang Rice Terrace. Rice terraces in general cost like 10k to get in. A lot of them, because they are most famous and they do claim to be this one here, will charge a little bit more. If you haven't seen our previous video, you'll know all about that. If you do want to avoid the cost of a rice terrace, you can come for sunrise. So as you can see, it is quite early. Come in, and we haven't had to pay anything yet, but we've been told that along the route of the rice terrace, you're expected to leave donations. You could leave 10k, 20k, 50k, whatever you want, but that is the cost of rice terraces. Now onto a waterfall.
Waterfalls in Bali range from about 20 to 50k, but sometimes do not include parking fees. Temples, on the other hand, range from about 30 to 60k, but nearly always include parking fees.
Okay, so how do you get into Bali? Basically, pre-pandemic times, it was a lot easier. Usually there is a tourist visa, which is 30 days for free, and then if you want another 30 days, you have to pay for it. But anyway, that's pre-pandemic times. Now with pandemic and COVID, it is obviously a lot more difficult. We got a e-visa, so we're on the B211A visa, which is what a lot of expats, nomads are on here. There's a million different agencies that you can use and the prices vary. We paid, I think it was 4.5 mil per person. And you need to quarantine for 8 days, and that's all at the customer or the tourist's expense. So it is quite expensive to get into Bali, but I swear it is very worth it. This was a very different video and I hope that you enjoyed it. We're going to leave a picture or a list or something here with everything, all the costs added up. We won't include like luxuries like the gym, which is like super expensive, the gyms and the spas, massages and all that. We won't include that. We'll just cover living in Bali. If you liked this video, please let us know in the comments below. If you have any other ideas for any other videos that you'd like us to do, leave it in the comments below. Other than that, we will be back to our usual travel videos in the next video, so we will see you there. Bye.
Bye bye.
Jumped in for that shot.